Welcome back, everyone, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I'm so excited to have my guy, Jonathan Batista, in the building. What's up, brother?
Yeah, how are you doing? Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure to have you here. And it's been a while.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, last time I was here, I was also performing in Swan Lake.
Yeah.
So it's such a pleasure to be back at the same time and performing Swan Lake for a second time with the Pacific Northwest Ballet.
You know, that was my first time ever seeing Swan Lake. And you and Angelica were literally, just took my breath away. The dichotomy between white swan, black swan, the consistency that you needed to have, and the emotion that comes through in the dance throughout the entire show it ended up being, I think, my very favorite one. It was so phenomenal.
Yes, Swan Lake is such a powerful ballet and such a powerful story ballet that tells the tale of the swan. And it's always so great to be back dancing with Angelica. It seems that we have a great connection and also we understand each other. And so it makes it way easier to dance with somebody like that.
Yeah, I think there's like this chemistry that develops over time with dancers. But you've also now been in Pacific Northwest Ballet for how long? Give us the rundown.
So I've been with the Pacific Northwest Ballet for 2.5 seasons now.
Wow.
And it's been such a beautiful journey. And I would say there's a transformation in the journey and within myself as an artist as well. Understanding what it means to be a black artist in a ballet company, which really means defying stereotypes. And also, as I continue to celebrate the trailblazers of dance, such as Arthur Mitchell with New York City Ballet, the founder of Dance Theater of Harlem, Deborah Austin, the nation's first prima ballerina, Lauren Anderson, and Misty Copeland, as well as our very own Kevin Mitchell, who was the first black dancer to ever join the Pacific Northwest Ballet, and understand that I walk in their light, and I continue to build our legacy, which is so beautiful. It really goes beyond just being a principal dancer.
Yeah.
It goes beyond, just being Jonathan Batista. It's really about our community and building a future, right? Building today.
Yeah.
Building today and also future. And it's been such a beautiful journey.
Well, the way you talk about it too, it's clear that the evolution of you as an artist has been something that's been rooted in a lot of the legacy, because I always think about how we're continuing legacy, right? Yes. We bring another building block to that story, right? And so now your body of work is contributing exactly to what you just described. How does that resonate with you on this first day of Black History Month? I see you got you came through ready today.
Oh, absolutely.
But how does that resonate with you in terms of continuing that legacy that you know is so rich?
Well, it always starts with the individual. So I'd say it started with being a pioneer in spaces such as ballet, classical ballet, where you don't see black bodies, right? And having them now is such a beautiful thing. But also, it's really about getting to know yourself as a dancer. And for me as a black dancer, I understood that it was possible because I saw somebody, right, getting there. And that's why I continue to stress on the importance of diversity and inclusion in the classical ballet world. It took me to go to England and start my studies in ballet and see a black principal dancer to understand then yes, that it was possible for me to become. And little did I know that moment would influence me to one day become a principal dancer as well. And here I am in this position to inspire the next generation of black dancers as well. And it's such a beautiful thing too, to see the growth within our audiences, to see the black families coming to our performances, and I make sure that I also build a relationship with our audiences. I make sure that I go and say hi, because it's so beautiful to see your dream manifested somewhere, and that's how you understand that your dream can become reality, When you see the first black president, then it's possible to become a president. When you see a tennis player like Serena Williams, and now you see perhaps Jonathan Batista, Misty Copeland, Calvin Royal, and our very own as well, Amanda Morgan, Destiny Wimpy, and Gina Bell, and so many dancers that are here with us. Ashton Edwards. It's beautiful to see the representation within our company, and it's beautiful to see the manifestation of dreams somewhere and in somebody.
Yeah, see, here I am. I got my Dream Like King on today.
Oh, yes.
To spark us off for Black History Month, because I think you're absolutely right. There's something that is so special about the thorough line between the dream and the fruition of the dream. It's all the things that happen in between. And that is really a level of dedication that you've had to really put forth in order for folks to know who you are. But you've also been working to be a part of community. And I want to hear a bit about that, because, you know, I think that there's something too around, you know, a lot of folks who come here for a specific thing, right? It could be ballet like yourself, it could be tech, it could be something else, whatever it is. But you come to an area for a specific thing, and sometimes it's not always easy to really find that node of community that you really can sit in that pocket with. And so I want to hear more about how you've been able to be recognized in community, because Pocan did a phenomenal, acknowledgement and award in your name. Tell us more about that, but also how you've been tying yourself to community as well.
Absolutely. I think community is the greatest gift that we ever have. And the community in Seattle embraced me in such a short time, and I'm really grateful for that. And I know that, I just put myself in the position to serve, to use my platform to give voices to communities that are underrepresented. I also happen to be a Latin background, so I'm out there doing what I can. I love to serve. And I learned early on in my life and career that your life gets better by making somebody else's life better. Yeah. And so I'm out there putting myself in the position of service. And I've worked with a little bit with Tupac, which was founded by our very own Cabby Mitchell, who was the first black dancer with the Pacific Northwest Ballet. Tupac stands for the Urban Performing Arts Center in Tacoma. And to see the black kids, those black kids' eyes, seeing a black dancer, represent them within the Pacific Northwest Ballet. And let me tell you this, when it comes to black talent, I'm not alone.
Right.
So also giving the space to other black artists to exist. And I'm not alone. We have the Seattle Dance Project, which is by Amanda Morgan. She also gives space for other dancers to, share their voices, their work, and their being, and everything. So it's very important that we position ourselves in place of service. And I think that's where I'm at. So I'm available, everyone.
Well, that's beautiful, because I think there's also a misnomer, and maybe sometimes we have to debunk the myth of, you're here and that's all you have time for. So I love hearing how you're pouring into community and how it's pouring back into you. This honor is huge. And so I have to ask, I saw it all over the airwaves, basically, right? It was all over everywhere. Everyone was celebrating you as the Entertainer of the Year. Tell us more about that.
Oh my, it was a surprise. I was actually very surprised when they reached out and offered me that recognition. I'm really grateful to Pocan and Steve Sawyer as well, and the whole organization, of course. And also being welcomed and introduced to the black community in Seattle, and to the main contributors to our community, and that continue to build our legacy here in Seattle. So it's really a lot about the people, about getting together, about celebrating one another, and about giving people the place to be and become. It's so special, and it's always much easier when you feel welcome somewhere. And I feel welcomed, I feel embraced, I feel celebrated, and now I'm giving back to the community.
It's such a great cycle, the way that you laid that out. And I think there's something too to be said for the evolution of you as a dancer. And, you know, understanding that, you know, a few years ago when you performed Swan Lake was different than now. Tell us about some of those amazing nodes and nuances that make this different in terms of what the audience might see on that stage in how you're showing up now with, through that evolution.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, there was a lot of pressure. I was a new dancer, and I guess there were many expectations, right? Who is this new guy? However, I think now I grew within myself, understanding the dancer that I am and what I was created for and how I can use my gift. And once again, I go back to representation, right? This is one of the first times that I'm dancing with cornrows, right? So there were times in my career where my hair was not accepted. And so I took a lot of fear in, and it took representation within the company, within the Pacific Northwest Ballet, for me to really understand the value of my hair, right? My worth and my crown, as we call it, right? And I saw two dancers, Larry Lancaster and Ashton Edwards, wearing their hair in such beautiful ways with different styles. And I thought, wow, I can do that too. And I can be a prince with cornrows. And so I'm leaving nothing behind this time, right? I'm coming as a whole, full me, Jonathan Batista. And that's the message that I want to put out there, that it's okay to be yourself. It's great to be yourself, and appreciate all of you, your hair, your skin tone, your dance, your culture, and just yourself.
Yeah. And bringing that culture to these iconic stories like Swan Lake is, I think, something that the audience will definitely resonate with, because we are so used to something having to be a very specific way, right? Ballet is specific. You get to bring your own energy to the moves, but we also know there's a level of specificity there in terms of the professionality of it all. But I love hearing this, Jonathan, that you feel confident to be able to embrace all layers of you and to bring that out for everyone else to experience. And as you talk about this tie between, you know, the rise in Black families out there in the audience and maybe young Black, you know, boys seeing themselves in you up there on that stage, I loved hearing that that's something that you get to take away, but you also make the time to go out there and connect with the people. And so you're really breaking down, I think, a barrier that a lot of people might experience. And I love that we're talking about it here, because I think it's so important for folks who may be on the fringes still about coming to the ballet, that this is an opportunity to let them know, no, McCall Hall is yours too. When we are there and PNB is there, you are welcome there. And I think that that message is so important. And I want to give you some time to make sure people out there in the audience understand the importance of this being a space for them, and that this art form has many folks, because PNB has been dedicated to bringing in different folks from the global majority. I want to leave the audience with a message from you about how important it is that they know that PNB is for them. Look right there and let them know.
Absolutely. Well, we'd like to welcome you for this weekend's Swan Lake. You're about to see, feel represented, welcome, and included in our theater, in our performances, in our journey, as well as an arts organization. Thank you.
Wow. Jonathan, thank you so much for being bold enough to share the intimacies of your growth with us today on The Day with Trae. It's always a pleasure to have you here, and you are welcome here anytime that you want to talk about what you're doing in community, anytime you want to uplift the show. My friend, you're always welcome.
Thank you so much, Trae. It's such an honor to be with you once again.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Wow.
Thank you.
Y'all, I'm telling you, I'm over here misty-eyed because he just put it down for us today. I get to wrap up all of this brilliance right after this short break. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.